The most common mistakes in English. That's what we're looking at in today's lesson. Check out my playlist, which complements this lesson. Key lessons to improve your English. So, let's have a look at what we've got in store for you today. Can you spot the errors? You can certainly understand what these sentences say, but they've all got howling errors. You're responding very well to treatment. I knew you were the best person to ask. Once they're in place, we can consider distribution. I hope that suits you. I thought he could have told me earlier. Jennifer, can I ask you about syntax? Let's eat grandma. We will be finished by Friday. Okay, there's mistakes in every single one of these sentences. In some of the sentences, there is more than one mistake. Okay, so let's have a look at that first one. Remember it? You're responding very well to treatment. And of course, the mistake there was with the word you're. Okay, that was spelt incorrectly. It should have been a contraction of you and are. So you apostrophe re. Or you could have written it in its full form. You are responding very well to treatment. Your is a possessive pronoun, okay? So it's okay to say this, for example, your cat, your head, your blue pen, your reading. It's okay to say that. And reading, by the way, is a gerund, and the other ones are nouns. So a noun or a gerund would follow that spelling of your. But when it's a contraction, okay, you, that's a pronoun, are is a verb. So this is okay. You're kind, you're really clever, you're hired, you're welcome, you're doing a good job, you're singing well. Okay? So that is the contracted form of you are. You're plus adjective. So, you're funny, you're welcome. You're plus verb. You're performing very well. Does the person you're talking to own it? They can't own an adjective or a verb. Like funny, clever, interesting, performing, doing, making. Okay? They can't own it. But they can with this spelling of your. Your cat is cute. Your singing is great. Singing would be a gerund there. Your hair is so nice. Your dinner is in the oven. Your cute dog can now do tricks. Your fast car is better than my slow one. Now there is a full lesson about that on the playlist. So let's move on to the second one. Okay, the second one on the list, that there is I knew you were the best person to ask. So what do you think is wrong with that? Of course, it is the spelling of knew. I knew you were the best person to ask. Knew, okay, and the other spelling of knew are homophones, which are words pronounced the same but have different meanings and can have different spellings. And there are a lot of words with silent letters. This is really what I'm getting at here, okay? It's the words with silent letters that catch people out. It's not just this one here, okay? It's not just this one. There are many. So I put together a little playlist here. It's called 100 words, 100 silent letters. That's in the playlist. That's a lesson in the playlist. For example, the silent A with dreamt and meant, okay? You certainly don't pronounce it meet and dreamt, okay? So this is a terrific lesson to see. In most cases we can pronounce words with silent letters, like the silent letter is not there. With some words, the silent letter takes on the sound of two letters. Okay, so there's more to this subject than meets the eye. Now, when you watch this video, there won't actually be any narration, but it is very detailed and it gives you lots of silent letters in words. Over 100, in fact. For example, lambs, subtle, doubt, thumb, dumb, comb, plumbing. And look at that one in the bottom. Tomb. Look how we spell it. We spell it tomb, okay, but it's pronounced tomb. So in this lesson here, we actually show you how the word is pronounced, and more importantly than that, we let you see how these words are spelled. Like here, for example. And by the way, I'm sorry if I'm making you dizzy here. This was filmed on the 124th floor, the Burj Khalifa. Descend, ascend, scene, abscess, scenario, scissors, conscious, conscience, muscle. It's very important to learn how these words are spelled and not to be caught out with silent letters. Watch that video. What about the third one here? Once they are in place, we can consider distribution. Can you spot the howling error there? The error there was with the word there. It was the wrong version of there, okay? It should have been a contraction of they are. Remember, there, that one's an adverb. And the other there, a contraction of they and are. They being a pronoun and are being the verb. Okay, so once they're in place, we can consider distribution. Now, if you're written it out like this in its full form, once they are in place, we can consider distribution. Well, give yourself a point, because obviously that is also correct. Once again, there, okay, spelled like that, is an adverb. And the other one is a contraction of they and are. Very similar to your. So, these are right, they're nice, they're hired, they're doing well, I'm glad they're here. And the other spelling of there it is. It's there. It is over there. Are we there yet? So, try and remember the correct spellings. Have you ever been confused about these words here? Well, you won't be after watching this lesson. You'll be able to tell the difference between this version of there, that version of there, and this version of there. Please check out that lesson. It's on the playlist. So what about this one here? This spelling of there, T-H-E-I-R. That one there is the possessive pronoun. It works like your, okay? That spelling of your. So their cats are cute. Their lovely gifts have arrived. We need their help, okay? Possessive, it owns the noun. Very similar to your, in fact, just the same. Now try putting all three together. They're going to take their cameras and photograph vehicles while there. That's a fun exercise. There is time for them to pick up their keys if they're quick. Please check out that lesson. It's on the playlist. Right, so now we move on to this one here. I hope that suits you. I hope that suits you. Can you spot the error in that sentence? We're starting off this lesson with capital letters. Now, where would you expect to find a capital letter? Well, you'd expect to find a capital letter at the start of a sentence, okay? Like here. Because every sentence must begin with a capital letter, irregardless of what the word is. Every sentence starts with a capital letter. There are no ifs, buts or maybes, or no grey areas there at all. Every single sentence, every new sentence must begin with a capital letter. Alright? Yes, and of course, I hope that suits you. That should have begun with a capital letter. Please watch that lesson. That lesson is all about punctuation. A very popular lesson. So that clears up that little mystery there. Right, so next on the list is this very, very strange sentence. I thought he could have told me sooner. Or I thought he could have told me earlier. It doesn't sound wrong. It is wrong because of the word off, okay? It should have been written either like this. I thought he could have told me sooner, or I thought he could have told me sooner, okay? Once you understand contractions, modals, and the present perfect, you'll never make this mistake again, okay? So he could have sounds very similar to he could have, and that is why people get mixed up, but it's wrong, okay? So you can say I thought he could have told me sooner, but you can't say I thought he could have told me sooner. The same rule applies with should, would and could. Should have, would have, could have. We should have known better. I would have enjoyed that meal. You could have done it. And of course you can write them out in their full forms. And they are all written, by the way, in the present perfect. So, could, should, would. These are three of the modal verbs which can act as helping verbs, also known as auxiliary verbs. So look at this. I should have woken earlier. The main verb there is woken, and should have are acting as auxiliary, or if you like, helping verbs. And that once again is written in the present perfect. Which takes us on to this odd sentence here. Jennifer, can I ask you about syntax? Or Jennifer, can I ask about syntax, is what it actually says if you read it properly there. So Jennifer, can I ask about syntax? That's wrong. Now, this would have been right. Jennifer, comma, can I ask about syntax? Question mark. Or Jennifer, can I ask that you ask him about syntax? With the question mark at the end. Or Jennifer, comma, can I ask that you ask a question about syntax? So, of course, can is a modal verb and may is another modal verb. So this would also be right. Jennifer, may I ask? Or you could have said, Jennifer, may I ask that you ask him about syntax? Or Jennifer, may I ask that you ask a question about syntax? And by the way, syntax, that is the arrangement of words and phrases to create well-formed sentences in a language. But most importantly here, this is the point I'm trying to get across here, the commas. So it would be Ray, comma, how are you, question mark, or how are you, comma, Ray, or Ray, comma, this helped a lot, or let's eat, comma, grandma, or grandma, comma, let's eat. Because if you look there at the second bottom one, let's eat grandma, we're not really instructing someone else to help us eat their grandmother. Okay, that would be quite terrible. So let's eat, comma, grandma. And you would have spotted the one at the bottom, Friday, a nice easy one there. Proper nouns are names. Days and months are proper nouns and begin with a capital letter. So obviously Friday should have been capitalized, begins with a capital letter. And more about that on my punctuation video. A terrific one, that. It's been very popular. So now we can see the correct answers. You're responding very well to treatment. I knew you were the best person to ask. Once they're in place, we can consider distribution. I hope that suits you. I thought he could have told me earlier. Jennifer, can I ask you about syntax? Let's eat, Grandma, and we will be finished by Friday. And talking about being finished, we are finished. But do not forget to check out that playlist. There's not many videos, but these are key videos to help with your understanding of English. So check them all out and don't forget to subscribe for more.